Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Today we're here to look at the Evoke 31. It's new for 2019 from PSE Archery. It's replacing the Evolve 31, which occurred in 2018 and 2017. So this is the Evolve and this is the Evoke. So PSE has changed the name and the Evolve has basically been replaced. Originally I thought the Evolve is still in the lineup and I thought, well, this is another option, but that's not the case. So let's look at what's different between these two bows and let's look at the Evoke to see what's changed. Now first off, I'm going to just talk about the differences between these two bows. So this is a film dip finish. So they basically dip the bow in a film, which is like a bath, and it basically gets dipped in, and this is the finish. It's kind of like a matte finish. The Evoke is a fusion finish. So this is new for PSE. It's familiar on bows like the Elite bows. G5 use the fusion finish, and Prime use the fusion finish. Now this is somehow embedded into the metal using a sort of temperature. Now in this version, you'll see it's kind of like got a glossy finish. You can see it sort of shiny. Now I got two of these. I got an Evoke 35 and an Evoke 31. Now the Evoke 31, which is this bow here, is actually like a shiny finish. You can see it kind of, I'll try and do it here. You can see this one's got no shine at all. The Evoke here has got a bit of shine. You can see it glistering in the sun. It's quite bright out here. So now the Evoke 35, the finish was a matte finish. So I'm not sure what you're going to get. Now the cams are both the Evolve cam systems, although they've changed the Evolve cam for the Evoke versus the Evolve. So it's got a twin yoke, top and bottom, with a rotating module. The module is, I'm going to get it wrong, so the draw length is adjustable from 24.5 to 30 inches in draw length. IBO is 342 feet per second, and it's slightly under a 6-inch brace height. The mass weight of this bow is 4.3 pounds. The draw let off is adjustable from 90 to 80% with the little stop which you see on the end just there. All you've got to do is move that forward to reduce the let off. Now you can also buy the low let off modules for this bow or the fast modules for this bow to increase the speed. So if you want more holding weight, so you want more tension in the shot, you can change the modules. The modules cost about $120 Australian to change. Now the price on this bow, about 1,300 Australian dollars. They sell in America for about 1,000. In the fusion finish, about $1,050. So let's look at the difference between these two bows. Now the Evoke 31 now features a thicker axle. So it's I'm pretty sure it's a 1/4 inch axle, so it's thicker than the Evolve. The thicker axle took place in 2018 on the PSE Perform. So the first Performs came out with a thinner axle, and then later they changed to this thicker axle. The thicker axle then featured on the shoot down also. Now what this did with PSEs, what you used to be able to see was this like angling down. Now with a thicker axle you don't see any of this. You can see that's dead straight there and there. Now with the Evolve cam system, it's the same cam top and bottom. So this is a twin cam setup with a yoke system here. The yoke actually unwinds as you draw it. Now what that means is you need to have the top cam and the bottom cam in sync, and what you need is this D loop dead in the center of the string. Now the dead center of the string is through the plunger hole right there, so that's where you need the arrow. Now if you don't put it in that spot, one will be more advanced than the other will. Now with the Evoke and the Evolve cam system, it features the machine limb pockets here, which was standard on the Evolve cam system, and it has the wedge lock system just there. Now the wedge lock, what that does, it applies pressure to the limbs here, and here you screw the limbs together. So basically it's clamping these limbs in place here. So there, the wedge lock, and I'll try and zoom in so you can see it where it sits. Just under there, just in there, just there. So that's pushing the limbs here against the bracket here, and they're getting clamped here. So if ever you've got to replace these limbs, you need to loosen off these screws here and loosen off the wedge lock just there. Now if you don't do that, you've got little plastic washers just in there and there. That's it. These will become, you'll need to replace them if you do not loosen them, because if you try and force them out, you'll basically break those little plastic washers. Now, limb dampeners, lower stabilizer spot here for a lower stabilizer mount. So if you're going to shoot a front and a rear stabilizer, it's got the lower mount there for more stability, which is good. Now what's different between the Evole and the Evoke? The Evoke features this bridge design here. Now whatever the PSE called this, so it's got a cage there and a cage here. Now what that does is creates more stability in the riser, so it makes this riser more rigid. So basically it should be a stiffer riser to shoot. The finish, before I just touch on that, these little limb things here make it easy to wind in and out. In the past, PSE have put Loctite on their limb bolts. On this Evoke system, I can't see any Loctite on it, so it's very easy to adjust the poundage. You can adjust the poundage on the Evoke by 10 full turns, so you're going to get about, I'm going to guess, close to 15 pounds of weight adjustment out of this bow, but do not wind it past that because you will strip this out. Now with the Evoke cam system, this is a spot here for your two-piece quiver, just there. Now with the Evoke, they've also included a shoulder strap which bolts straight into this spot here. So you can carry your Evoke on a shoulder strap which comes with the bow through this spot here. Now if you're going to use the two-piece quiver from PSE, basically you can't use the sling because that's where it mounts. Now the Evoke comes in 3 tug colors: black, tan and charcoal. And that will include matching limbs. So if you go for the tan riser, it will have tan limbs, which is different to the elite bows, which basically are always a black limb. Now in the color fusion process, there is 4 camos. I'm not going to name them, but I'll try and put a picture on the screen showing the 4 camos. This is one of them here. Now while this camo looks good and it's longer wearing than the film dip finish, I'm going to say it's not as clean a finish as the elite color fusion process. So let's try and find somewhere where it's not quite as good. I'm going to jump down to there. So just in this spot here, it's not quite as clear as on the outside. But it's not bad, but I'm just going to say it's not as clean as the color fusion process in the elite bows. It features a torque cable guard here, and what this does is as you pull this back, as you pull the cables back, this will flex in here, and you can see it's all machined out here to create the flexing. Now you can increase and decrease the angle of this by moving this backwards and forwards with the Allen key there. It features rollers, and the strings are served here. Now the color of the strings is obviously camo, and so it looks good. In the past, the Evole system have used red strings, which to me kind of didn't look very good. This looks nice. The strings, they look colored. It looks color coordinated. It looks nice. Now I noticed someone on the PSE forum made a comment about these limb dampeners. In the picture, it's around the other way. This is the way they're fitting it because it makes it a little bit tighter, so less likely to move. The graphics on the Evoke are quite nice on the limbs. The Evoke 35, they're a little bit duller, so I don't know if it's just because this is the first take and whether they'll become clearer as they go, but there was noticeable difference between the Evoke 31 and the Evoke 35 in the actual finish of the graphics on the limbs, where here it's very white, the other one was a bit duller. But you've got multiple sight positions on the side here to move up and down the sight, which is good. You've got a heap of space here for a peep sight. At 342, this is a pretty quick little bow, and with fast modules, you're going to increase the speed of that by probably another 5 feet per second, pushing it towards a 350 feet per second bow, which is pretty good. Now the price point on this bow at about the 1300, it being the flagship of the PSE line, so the top of the line, excluding the carbon bow, it puts it well under the price of its competitors. The competitors buy like Elite being the options, and someone's going to say another one, but to me those bows sell in Australia for about 1600. The equivalent Hoyt's going to be around 1700. Prime is going to be really expensive. So this is a really well priced bow. Now let's look at the balance of this bow. So in the hand it just sits there. There's no, you can see it's not moving forward or back. So there's no sideways movement with the thing, so it's perfectly balanced in the hand. So I'm going to suspect when I shoot this bow it's going to just push forward a little bit through the hand grip position, so that'll be interesting to see. And it's going to be interesting to see the speed through the chronograph. But overall, it's got little timing marks here on the cam, so you can see where the cam is against the string, which is really nice. The rotating modules to change the draw length, really nice. The other bows do not have that feature, so if you want to change the draw length from 29 to 29.5, you don't need a bow press, you just 2 screws there, and I'm going to say there, just loosen those off. You don't need a bow press, and you just rotate this module. A being the longest draw length and the bigger letter down the other way being the shortest. Each letter is 1/2 inch in adjustment. So to me, there's been lots of improvements from the 2018 Evolve to the 2019 Evoke. And so the question is, how's this going to stack up, and how's the speed going to be, and how am I going to shoot this 18 meters? So now just on that, I'm going to check the weight of this bow. Now I do have the sight fitted, the arrow rest fitted. So it's weighing in at 4.78 pounds, and that's with the sight arrow rest fitted to it. So 4.3 is about right. As far as weight's concerned for a hunting compound, it's putting it in the bracket of not too bad. And when I say not too bad, it's not too heavy. So there's heavier bows out there for hunting. 4 pounds is kind of nice if you can get it, but I'm guessing with this extra bridging here, it's adding to the weight of the bow. But it feels quite comfortable. The balance is good, and it's got a good cam system. So let's see what sort of speed this shoots at, and let's see how it goes at 18. Okay, so we're here to test the Evoke 31 through a chronograph. Now, this was a 65 pound bow, because some people say when I test the bows and I'm not shooting the 60 pound bow, it's going to reduce the speed. Look, that's up to you. I don't really find there's much difference. It depends. The faster bows are going to be more aggressive to draw. The slower bows are going to be easy to draw. That's the general rule of thumb. If the bow's easy to draw, it's generally slower. If it's harder to draw, it's generally faster. Shorter brace heights are faster, longer brace heights are slower. That's pretty much as simple as it gets. With speed, now I'm shooting this bow at 60 pounds at 29 inches. I'm using a Victory gold tip velocity arrow, which is the same arrow as I use for all my tests. It's a 400 with a 90 grain point with a pin system in the back end. They're about 29 inches in length. They weigh about 327 grains. So the fast bows are shooting about 310. For a 340 feet per second bow, I'm going to guess a speed of about 313. So before I shoot this, let's just test to see what the draw cycle's like. Now, the Evolve 31 was an easy draw cycle. So that's the first thing. Now, it has the identical modules as the Evolve 31, but the actual cam itself has changed. Only slightly. I can't tell the difference in the profile, but it is a different cam. So my first thing is the grip is really comfortable. It's a nice grip. It feels nice. Feels comfortable. So to start off with, it's solid. As soon as you start drawing this bow back, it is solid. It is really solid. So let's just... So it's solid, 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 solid. Well, belly. So I'm going to try and let this thing down. And it's scary to let down. Because when you're back here, you're holding nothing. Oh shit, I don't even think I want to let this down. I'm not going to let this down, I'm going to shoot it. Oh shit. Okay, let's shoot. So when you get that thing back there with 90% let off at 60 pounds, you're holding 6 pounds back here, and it feels like 3. Now with the Evolve cam system, to me it was a smoother draw cycle than this. This is more like the option from Elite, which I tested like last week. Okay, so this is Marla. If you haven't met Marla before, she's my Barky Poodle. So I'm just going to put her inside so we can continue the test and Marla can go to sleep. Hey darling. She runs around the side because the neighbour's got a poodle and she wants to tell the other poodle that she's the boss of the house. So when I got back there, I felt like I was holding nothing, and it definitely dropped off quite quick. Now I'm going to say it's not as quick as the Evolve in the drop off. Now the speed was 303 feet per second. So we're going to try that draw cycle again. So hard, getting it easier just there, and then it drops off. So quite a big valley. When you're back here, it's dead solid, and there's no camling whatsoever. Right, speed was 302 with that. So I'm not getting the speed out of this bow that I would expect. I would expect it to be slightly faster, and it is 29. So 302, I'm pretty sure I get 310 out of the fast bows, but you'll have to check the other videos to see what speeds I get. So I definitely prefer the draw cycle on the Evolve 31 over the Evoke 31, but it's more like, yeah, it's more like the Elites. It's easier than the Elite draw cycle. So if you're going to test bows, you know, the Hoyt. So I think what PSE have done with this draw cycle is they've kind of replicated what the other draw cycles are like of the other bows. I'm going to say the Hoyts, the other bows, where it drops off into that big valley. Where the Evolve to me was a much smoother draw cycle. You could basically stop it anywhere through that draw cycle. So for me, it's noticeable the difference. It's not that it's uncomfortable at all. It's just more standard. And what PSE have done with this is they've taken, I think they've made the bow more compatible with the other brands on the market, if that makes any sense at all. So what they've said with this bow is we're going to add the color fusion, so same as Elite, same as Prime, same as, I know the other company, Elite, Prime, whoever the other company was, Elite, Prime, whoever. We're going to have a similar draw cycle, but we're going to have the modules so you can change the draw length, and we're going to be cheaper. So we're going to do everything you guys do, but we're going to be cheaper and we're going to be better. We're going to have the bridge riser like you have. We're going to have adjustable let off. We're going to have the bow being so flexible that this is a preferred bow at a preferred price. That's what it kind of feels like to me. Where to me the Evolve was a very different bow. It was different to the competitors. To me this feels very much like the other bows on the market. So I'm just going to try and look, you can see it when it's shot, the bow's not moving in my hand at all. It's not doing that. It's the bow's, that was 304. The bow's quiet. It's not too bad. I like the thicker axles, that's pretty cool. The Evolve cam system's cool. So all up, I think it's a pretty nice bow to shoot. Compared to, when I say compared to the others, so if I have to compare this bow to the other brands on the market right now, the Elite don't have the matching limbs with the matching risers, so whether you like that or don't like that, it's personal preference. I do like the matching limbs with the matching risers. I do like the option of tan with tan limbs, charcoal with charcoal limbs, black with black limbs. That is a nice feature. I like the sight positions here. I like the lower cable guard there. I love rotating modules. Just makes it so quick and so easy for shops. You know, if you're a shop, you stock one bow and you can sell that to anyone. With the Elite, I have so many boxes of Elite modules. Literally, I've got a stack of that high of Elite modules. I can't even imagine how much I paid for them all, but I'm not taking away from Elite. I'm just saying the difference between a small shop and even a large shop like my own. To change the draw length of Elite will take me half an hour. To change this is like 2 minutes. So for a consumer, for a customer who buys this bow, they can change the draw length really quickly on their own. They don't need a shop. They can say, oh, I want to try 28.5, I want to try 29. They can do it. I want to try 80% let off versus 90%. They can try it. It's easy. And the price point's better. So, and it's not even like it's close. It's a lot better in price. I mean, you can put all the accessories on this for the same price as the other brand bows. And more functionality, I'm going to say. But I'm going to say it's probably not quite like, just in here, I'm going to jump in this part here. See in there? You can see the finish in that part there is not as clean as like out here. You can see the pattern here is cleaner. So here it kind of fades away a bit. But would it worry me? Not at all. It wouldn't worry me. It's just an observation. So yeah, I really like the bow. Feels good to shoot, feels quiet, there's no vibration after the shot. I would like a faster speed through the chronograph. Maybe the IBR speed on this is with the fast modules, I don't know. Because to me that seems a little bit slow. Seems a little bit slow through the chronograph for 342. But you'd have to check what speeds I shoot with my other bows. Like even my target bow, you'd have to compare that. But the draw cycle's fine, it feels comfortable. So let's take this back to 18. I'm going to be interested at 18 to check the sight picture, so when I'm pulling it back how much the sight picture moves. But when I'm aiming at the target, because with the Elite it basically I move off the target. I'm interested to see how much my hand moves, and I'm interested to see what the grips are like. So let's try this out. Okay, so I'm back here at 18 meters. So we're going to try the draw process and see what the accuracy is like. Now I have sighted this bow in previously before shooting this video. I shot about 12 arrows, and I did have the arrows hitting the gold, and they actually were shooting okay. So let's just see how this goes now. Now I'm going to also say I'm wearing new PSE clothes which have just been released. This is the new PSE cap and new PSE shirt. This is their sort of sports shirt. It's like got that anti-sweat stuff to pull moisture away. So like if you're going to the gym or it's a hot day, this is meant to draw the moisture away from your body. Feels kind of nice. It's very light. I think the PSE clothes are quite well priced. I think the quality of the PSE clothes, when I say quality, I think they could be better, the PSE clothes that they've got offered. But the price point's pretty affordable, so right, let's shoot. So first thing I want to look at is how this thing aims when I'm drawing back. So as I draw, I hold the sight pin on the gold at all times. So if ever I have a problem, I'm always aiming. Now when I shot the Elite, which was last week, I know I couldn't keep the pin on the target. Now that time I'm aiming, I'm keeping my pin on the target, and I think just as I hit that valley, the pin did move out to the red, but it went straight back in the gold straight away. So it's definitely an easier draw cycle than the Elite. I don't think it's as good as last year's Evolve. I do have last year's Evolve there to compare, but it's easy enough and it aims well. So now let's see to see how much movement I have on the shot of aiming. I'm gonna say it's pretty steady. There was a bit of wind around, but I'm not getting any look left or right. It's like I naturally move, but it feels pretty good. Generally with the shorter inch, shorter brace height bows, you do get a slight twinge. The longer brace height bows are generally a little bit more stable. This felt pretty good, so let's see what the groups are like now. I think I shot high. So my questions with this bow that PSE have released. In the past, PSE have always had matching quivers, matching sights, matching rests and that sort of stuff. So let's say you've gone for the mossy oak camo, which is standard with PSE, they always use mossy oak. You fit the mossy oak quiver, you fit the mossy oak sight, you fit the mossy oak arrow rest. Now with this year, with this particular bow, they've gone for this camo, and I can't remember the name of it, but I've got a feeling they don't have matching quivers and stuff for it. So to me, that's a bit of a, I'm going to say, concern. I don't know why they did that. I think PSE should have gone for their standard mossy oak in their top of the line bows as an option. So that way, if you want the matching mossy oak quiver, matching mossy oak sight, matching mossy oak arrow rest, you can go for it. Now, because of this problem with this camo, you may be able to get matching whatever this camo is, and PSE has 4 camos, so they're clearly not going to have 4 types of camo in their quivers and sights and all that. You are probably going to be able to get it, like get a quiver which has got this camo, but I don't know what it is, and I definitely don't stock it. So therefore the smaller shops are definitely not going to stock it. So therefore you're going to fit probably the black quivers and the black accessories to this bow. Now that time, as I drew it back, I actually didn't keep this side pin on the target. I actually moved off the target. Still think this is an easier draw cycle. Easy to shoot. There's no vibration. It feels dead quiet. I can't really feel the difference between the rigid riser and non-rigid riser. I can't feel the flags. I mean, there's no vibration. Maybe that's the difference. I don't know. I'm sure they do tests on this. Robin Hood that knock. Look, it feels good to shoot. It's a really nice bow to shoot. And the colour fusion process, you know, basically this bow should look the same in 10 years as it looks today. Now I'm going to say that with the film dip process I have on my PSE bows, which are 10 years old, they still look the same as they did 10 years ago, and that's today. But generally, where you grip the bow and you've got your acid from your hands and the wear point from your hands, it generally does eat away the film there. But I think I don't shoot my camo bows enough to get that to occur. But I do like this bow. I do. I like it a lot. So now, would I shoot the low let off? Would I shoot the faster modules with this bow? That'd be the question. Now for hunting, I probably like the high let off so I can aim longer. And I was talking to one of the pro shooters from PSE about this, and I said, which modules are you shooting for which bows and why? And he basically came back to me, and I'm going to get his name wrong. Anyway. He said to me, I shoot high let off for hunting so I can aim longer, I shoot low let off for target to create more back tension. So, and I was like, yeah, look, that makes sense. That's probably what I'd do too. So, because this is just easy. I can sit here all day and hold the 3 or 4 pounds I'm holding, hold a conversation with you and just sit here and hold it. I'm not fatiguing. Now just to prove my point, what I'm going to do this time, and I run out of breath when I shoot, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to breathe this time while I'm shooting. So let's simulate me aiming at a deer or a pig that's grazing or something, and I'm just holding there. So I'm just going to hold this for a while I'm aiming, and let's see where this arrow goes. So I'm not fatiguing at this stage at all. I'm going to take this shot now. Now, the only problem was I couldn't see what I was doing because my eyes started blurring over. I don't know if I got an eyelash in it or what, so I'm not sure where that arrow went. But with the higher let off, I'm not getting any fatigue in my back at all. But my eye did fatigue. Maybe because I wasn't blinking, I don't know. But anyway, so that's the reason why people shoot high let off for hunting and low let off for target or 3D work. The 3D, you're probably going to shoot low let off or a fast module to pick up a little bit of speed, to give that nice crisp back feeling. Some people will shoot high let off for target. But look at that bow, it's just not moving in the shot. There's nothing. It's very, very good. You know, like I'm going to say all bows today are very, very well made. I think when PSE released these new bows, basically they make a few little improvements, and the improvements to me are noticeable. Look, feels great. And the fact that my neighbour hasn't stuck her head over the fence means this bow's pretty quiet. It's always a bit embarrassing when the neighbour sticks his head over the fence and you're shooting. Okay, let's go down and see where those arrows are. Okay, so we're up here at the target. This is the group, so you can see I've got a nice group high, and I've got a little group down there low. Now I can't get my fingers around the whole group, but that high group's really good. There's not a lot of left and right, getting some up and down movement. But overall, like, it's not too bad. The little high group's good. I think one of the low ones was that one I took in the shot, but to me the bow feels really nice to shoot. I feel comfortable with it shooting. The finish, I'm happy with the fusion finish. I'm going to guess it's going to get better as PSE, whoever's doing, I don't know if PSE is doing this color finish or whether they're outsourcing it. I think it will get better because this is basically one of the first ones produced. The strings look good. I like the flex guard. I obviously love the rotating modules. I love the lower mount stabilizer. The limb pockets are good, all machined. Price point is excellent. So overall, I think PSE have probably produced they've produced a bow that when you look for a new hunting bow for 2019, this has got to be on your bow list to try. Up against, you know, all the other top brand bows. And I think when you look at this, you have to consider the cam system being rotating modules because the other ones aren't. the fusion finish, you have to consider the bridge riser. It's a pretty good unit, so I think the price point's really good. So I think PSE have hit it really well, and PSE is always hitting price points so well in the marketplace. To me, this bow could really be priced at the $1,600 price point to put it right up against the Elite. I think up against the Elite at the same price point, I think this would be an interesting battle, but being $300 cheaper than the Elite, it's just, to put it $300 cheaper than the Hoyts, or $400 cheaper than a Hoyt, $300 cheaper than an Elite, I don't know how much cheaper than a Prime, and it's not a bad little, I think for one comparison, even if they were the same price, it would still be a very interesting bow to compare one for one. I think this bow has got a lot going for it, and then it's so much cheaper. So overall, I think I really like it. Now, PSE has also released the Evoke 35, and they've also released a Carbon Air 35 for 2019. So for myself, when I look for a bow for 2019, the Carbon 35 would definitely be something I look at. Being a $2,000 price point bow, this was $1,300 price point bow. I really like this bow though. This is pretty good. So I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. The more you shoot, the better you'll shoot. And the major thing is to enjoy it. Enjoy your shooting, enjoy the time. I was out shooting last night, beautiful weather, nice and calm, peaceful, and I was just loving it, and I was shooting great. So just enjoy your archery. It's just peace and quiet, and it's just, if you're hunting, just enjoy the peace and quiet of just being out in the middle of nowhere and relaxing. So thanks for watching. I hope it's been helpful. Thanks, bye.